morning. This steel from the World Trade Center rests here today as a testament of the war that befell us and of the great heroism that prevailed on September 11th, 2001. I've been asked to help pay tribute to those police officers from New York and New Jersey Port Authority who made the ultimate sacrifice, and I'm honored to do so. The names that I'm about to read represent those 37 Port Authority officers who perished in the rescue efforts when the World Trade Center collapsed. These police officers worked shoulder to shoulder with the men and women from the New York police and fire departments in the rescue and evacuation of thousands of our fellow Americans during this cowardly attack on our nation. The World Trade Center housed over 50,000 employees and accommodated over 70,000 visitors per day. It was the duty of the Port Authority police to help police and safeguard the World Trade Center site. The deaths of these officers on September 11th, 2001 represent the single worst loss of police personnel from one police department in one event in America's history. The events of September 11th will remain with me and for many people around the world the rest of our lives. To the men, women, and children that the Port Authority officers helped rescue, and to millions of Americans, their sacrifice has significant meaning. It is what it means to be an American. We help each other even in the worst of times. These officers did their duty even when they knew of the great peril that they faced. They endeavored to persevere despite the obvious dangers. Many officers were known to have entered the towers multiple times to help in the rescue attempts despite being burned or injured themselves. The names I'm about to read remain more than just officers who wore a badge and whose names are now engraved in monuments. Like all of us, they were men and women who had hopes and dreams. They cherished their families and the people who they loved. They had neighbors and friends whom they shared their lives, and they themselves were cherished, not just as officers, but as a husband or wife. They were fathers, mothers, or a precious son or a loving daughter. Yes, world, with all the precious life taken on September 11th, there were real people, real human beings inside those uniforms and behind those badges. As so often evidenced in our nation's history, they were really just ordinary people following a calling. Without hesitation, they performed in an extraordinary manner in an unprecedented time. Through them, our lives and the character of a nation are now forever changed. Please reflect on the great sacrifice as I share their names, who are now gone but not forgotten. Chief James Romito, Superintendent of Police Fred B. Monroe, Captain Kathy Mazza, Sergeant Robert M. Colfers, Lieutenant Robert D. Sierra, Inspector Anthony P. Infante Jr., Officer Christopher C. Hermoso, Officer Maurice Berry, Officer Liam Callahan, Officer Clinton Davis, Officer Donald Foreman, Officer Greg J. Kroner, Officer Thomas E. Gorman, Officer Uhuro G. Houston, Officer George G. Howard, Officer Stephen Hutsko, Officer Paul W. Juergens, Officer Paul Lazinski, Officer David P. Lamaggi, Officer John Lennon, Officer J. D. Levi, Officer James F. Lynch, Officer Walter A. McNeil, Officer Donald J. McIntyre, Officer Joseph M. Navas, Officer James Nelson, Officer Alphonse J. Niedermeyer, Officer James W. Parham, Officer Dominic A. Mazzulo, Officer Bruce A. Reynolds, Officer Antonio J. Rodriguez, Officer Richard Rodriguez, Officer John P. Scala, Officer Walden W. Stewart, Officer Kenneth F. Deaton, Officer Nathaniel Webb, and Officer Michael T. Foley.